Welcome back to part 6 of our live training session here with our Honda Civic Si. In this training module, we're going to be exploring doing our VTEC or high cam tuning. Without further wait, let's jump in so we can check this out. Welcome back to our live training session here with our individual throttle body K24 swapped Civic Si. Now, the last training module, we looked at the calibration process for our low cam dialing in our cam composite blend table and get everything 100% on the non-VTEC or low cam operation. This tutorial, we're going to be working on our high cam. We're going to do some part throttle tuning and do our full throttle tuning and do our variable cam blending for our high cam functionality. We have a lot of things to discuss. First thing we need to do is set up our VTEC to engage really easily so that we can start doing at least the part throttle tuning first, then move into the wide open throttle. We need to go into our fuel and spark timing tables and make sure that those have some reasonable values in them to begin our process. So let's go in and review what we have going on here. So the first thing I want to do is jump into the calibration file. And we said low cam tuning was what we named our last file. Here I'm going to go ahead and just do a file save as and save this as now high cam tuning, just so I give this a different name so I can move forward or backwards in my calibration process if I choose to do so at any time. I'm going to go in here into the parameter section. And I'm going to go ahead into the VTEC area, and I'm going to program things and drop down my lower boundary VTEC engagement. I'm going to say I want to engage my VTEC as early as 3,000 RPM. Now, I'm not going to probably run my VTEC that low, but I want to engage it at 3,000 RPM and higher so that I'm able to very easily dial in my fuel and spark timing tables for a high cam or VTEC. Now, looking at this, I have my tables here. If I exit out of here and jump in, I have my table starting at 3,000. So naturally, I want to have my VTEC engaging at 3,000 to be able to populate all of the table. So let's jump in here to our parameters. The next thing to consider is going into our KPA settings here. Now recall, when we're in the alpha end mode, we have a simulated or a calculated map pressure, and it's based on our throttle position. Because we've set our map pressure to 0 kPa closed throttle and 100 kPa full throttle, that's what's going to output. So at 0% throttle, it'll read 0 kPa in our map sensor. At 100% throttle, it'll read 100 kPa. I want to go in and switch over my VTEC pretty much instantly. I'm going to go and set these both to 0 kPa or 0% throttle. So it engages VTEC pretty much right off the bat. This allows us to stay locked into VTEC to populate out and tune our part throttle, even wide open throttle for VTEC operation. So that's the first little bit I want to go and mention. Let's go here and close out of that. Let's go save that file. Now what we're going to do is jump into the high cam tables. We're going to start off on our 0 degree fuel and spark timing. That's where we want to build out our table. We know that we did that on the low cam. That was the basis for essentially all the rest of the variable cam target tables. And we tweaked and adjusted the 0 degree fuel and spark timing throughout all of the other cam pairings. And the more we have this dialed in on 0 degree, the better off we'll be, the less fumbling around we're going to do our other tuning on our other variable cam target tables. So what we have to do here is first go into our cam target, make sure on the high cam target table it's at 0. We're locked into 0, that looks good. So next thing we're going to do is jump back into our high cam table right here, 0 degrees, and we need to go in and look at our fueling values. Now what I like to do is compare low cam fueling at, let's say, 60 to 100% throttle to our high cam. They should be fairly similar in values, and we're looking here, these are 1,700, 2,000, 2,300 on our high cam, and they're right around those same type of values on our low cam. So we have ballpark values to start off with, at least for our high cam table. Now, even looking at our part throttle here, these values are relatively low compared to our values here. And we have to look at 3,000 and above. We see these values here, 1,000, 1,300, 1,600. If we go here, these values are going to be low. So we might run a little lean as we switch over into our high cam. We'll have to see how that's going to go, but we'll keep an open mind and we'll edit and calibrate that as we go along. But I don't want to go ahead and just automatically start to populate higher values in here. These may be okay, but most likely it's going to create a problem. You're probably going to have to go and add more fuel again, especially because the low cam here has much higher fueling values. So fueling looks reasonable, but spark timing is something we definitely have to edit and modify. So we're looking here on our low cam. We know that 22 degrees, 23 degrees is what we were getting away with on low cam at 60 to 105 columns. I'm going to go in here and set that right here as our kind of our baseline. Let's do 22 degrees there at our higher load columns here. We usually can run more spark timing, a couple degrees on VTEC, higher. We can run a couple of degrees higher advance on VTEC compared to our low cam. So I'm going to leave it at 22 just as a starting point. We can bump our timing up from there. But part throttle, we need to consider a few things. Part throttle here, we were about 32, 33 degrees. I'm gonna start off with that here because we're at 3,000 RPM and higher. We can see here 3,000, we're about 32, 33 degrees. We'll be able to get away with that. So I'm gonna go here and these columns and just set these columns here to, let's do 34 degrees. And in between these two, we're just gonna do a Control P. We're just gonna go ahead and blend between those. So we can see as we go up in throttle angle, we're dropping our spark timing down because the load is increasing. That should all make sense. So let's go ahead and save that real quick. So we're pretty much ready to go here to go ahead, fire up our engine, upload this calibration file. Let me go key on here. We're gonna go upload this and start to drive. Now, if it's lean, that's fine. I'm gonna try to collect as much data as I can. Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you wanna see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you wanna go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't wanna miss any of the videos we're gonna be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.